None of them. Hey, let's jump to the top 5 now. So Trevor can make his case with who Oklahoma has to run down. There they are, the White Walkers, the Roman Army. Obviously, there's going to be a new number 3 with Michigan State tripping up today. Oregon Ducks seem to just kind of be taking care of business, and Ohio State has 2 top 10 teams looking at them on the back stretch. Who wants to start? Basically, I'm just going to throw this out there. With Michigan State dropping, does Oregon and Ohio State just basically just scoot up if you're the committee? And then who's 5?
Yeah, I think as of right now they do, right? Honestly, I have 5 as Michigan. I think Michigan gets up there. I think they do jump Cincinnati based on everything that we've been talking about. Even on College Game Day, the committee naturally, I think, has already kind of shown that they are just wanting Cincinnati to trip up at some point where they don't have to deal with this anymore. But I think, again, Michigan going on the road at Michigan State and losing by 4 has better style points than again beating Cincinnati beating Tulsa by 8. So I actually have Michigan at number 5.
Hack, when could Ohio State jump Oregon? Because at this point, if they both win out, they'll have identical records, and Oregon has the tiebreak. When and how could Ohio State jump Oregon?
I really, like I've said, I don't think that's necessarily the argument. I mean, I think Ohio State, again, has more statement game ability in terms of strength of schedule here at the back half than Oregon does. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, I think Oregon still needs to handle business. So we'll see, because we know how unpredictable the Pac-12 can be. I mean,
Oregon still has to go to Utah, and Utah's kind of proven to be a rolling. They're rolling right now.
A buzz.
Yes. So
they have Washington State, Utah, Oregon State in the Pac-12 championship.
It's interesting. So, we'll see. And I don't think they're going to give Michigan that credit yet, Bryce. I think if Michigan goes and beats Penn State this week fairly well, I think that now the argument for Michigan starts becoming one of those things, because it's at Penn State. Penn State's defense is still very, very stout. So it's an opportunity for them to have that signature stamp on a win that they really haven't had this year. Michigan State game being their first opportunity, and they came up a little short. They blew a pretty decent lead in that game too. So we'll see what happens. But I like I said, I think Ohio State has everything ahead of them. I think they have a great track record with that, and I don't think it necessarily matters whether they're 3 or 4, as long as they're in. I think they can make a run at it just because of the talent they have.
Trevor, if we move up, everybody 4 and 5 move up to 3 and 4, Michigan and Ohio State will settle that out. The next 2 programs coming up, according to the college football rankings right now, is Cincinnati and your Sooners. How will they weed that out if they both finish with goose eggs?
You guys just listen to me blab on for 30 minutes about why I think Oklahoma would be in with an undefeated record. And I still believe that. I think, and again, this is all speculation, that the committee, like we're sitting here talking about what it could look like at the end. I think the committee is looking at this as who are the best teams this week alone, right? What's your strength of schedule this week alone? As Ohio State goes through the gauntlet, they make it through. Their quality wins are going to surpass Oregon barely getting by Washington and whoever else they have on their schedule, so they will jump them. I think it's the same for an Oklahoma team, right? Oregon looks great right now because, yes, they have the bad loss to Stanford, but they beat one of the best teams in college football in Ohio State. So it's like, okay, we've seen them go toe to toe in recent history, but that's just going to get diluted as we finish out this season, right? I truly think it scared me when they put Oregon in, right? Because they have to demote them out of the top 4 when they're going to win out at this point. But if you're going week by week, at that last week going into the actual playoff selection, is Oregon one of the top 4 best teams? I don't think so. I think they get pulled out, which is a shot to the groin, but I think it's going to happen.
So, fellas, there's like the wedding crasher drama of Cincinnati and Oklahoma, Michigan battling to come in. There's also internal drama. If the Roman army, and I made a half a case for them, 2 losses, and if you took them and put them up against any other program in the country in a neutral site, a college football fan, probably a committee member, would say, yes, Alabama's coming out of that. 2-loss Alabama to 2 quality programs, one of them being the White Walkers. I think that's also going to be the drama. We're going to keep tracking that as we go forward. We hope you guys join us next week. Big heavyweight matchups in the SEC and the Big Ten East, along with everything else that's going to play out with the Sooners and Bearcats. We'll be here with you. On behalf of Bryce Petty, Trevor Knight, Christian Hackenberg, I'm George Whitfield. See you next week, Field of 12, College Football After Dark.